So if I had to make a distinction, this sit down special of Jersey classifying who the true mean girls were, oh, that's easy. Okay. And also, I guess with this scenario set up, Bravo just wanted to exhaust us one more time, I say. Just one more again. Anyways, what's up, y'all? I'm Taina B here. Thank you for joining me at my chat party. I appreciate you guys so much for everybody who stops by and just takes the time out of your day just to hear my opinion, listen to what I got to say, agree, disagree. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you who have subscribed and increased my party list. I appreciate you too so much. I'm glad that I could say something or do something that allows you to just, come back again. That's pretty dope, pretty awesome. Special shout out to Paprika ASMR. Thank you so much for your support. And to my buddy over yonder, overseas, over the sea in Australia, Miss Jacqueline Allison, you are thebomb.com. I appreciate your beautiful, kind words. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you who take the time to comment. I said it wrong in one of my last videos, but I meant to say, even at this stage or at any stage, it's never about the quantity, it's about the quality. And just one comment means more than enough to me. So anyways, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get into this Real Housewives of New Jersey sit down special where the ladies recapped and reviewed the Rails episode, which was the last and final episode of the season. And guys, I ain't gonna lie to you, I ain't even gonna hold y'all long. I'm not even gonna hold y'all long because, like I said, to rehash some of these things is just exhausting and it's like a broken record. I guess some things we can't help to mention again. But for the most part, I just want to kind of touch on some points that I noticed or that was just like whatever to me. So with that being said, to answer the question quickly of who I felt the true mean girls were based on this episode, okay? So for all of y'all that are Team Mars, they're going to jump down my throat, hear what I said. I said this episode, okay? I could extend them to other episodes too, but this episode, to my point, was absolutely Margaret, Danielle, Rachel, and Melissa. Hands down. Hands down. And here's why. Because they came in talking so much smack. They didn't even really get to sit down all the way good before having retarded things to say. I think the first thing that comes to mind for me was Marge talking about Teresa and Jennifer Aiden with their matching hairstyles looking like Weird Al Yankovic. That was stupid because they look great. Their hair looked good. And Margaret, you should be the one to talk about somebody's hair. Okay? As thin as your hair was looking and your edges and everything else. And I don't like to get that mean with people, but I don't like when people start acting crazy. You know what I'm saying? When they really shouldn't. All right? I'm going to keep it light and leave it at that. But it was like, what was the point of that? Y'all are still that hot after that amount of time? I mean, I'm sure at least some weeks had gone by, right? You still that simmered and hot? Ridiculous. Okay? Then they were commenting on what's taking place in the other room with, Teresa and the other ladies. Then when Jen Fessler came in, at a point they're asking her if she went to go speak to the other ladies. Like, again, why do y'all even care? They're making faces throughout the, footage that's being shown. They're calling them names. I can remember, even Margaret mentioning Jackie and her outfit looking cheap, or Teresa and her wearing fake Chanel. And I'm like, now again, let's keep panning back over to Teresa's room, right? Where they're not even thinking about y'all in that manner. Yes, they're commenting on the episodes, but that's all they're doing. You guys are like the worst. And speaking of, so Jen Fessler, to me, is a case in point. It goes to show how you can enjoy someone in one moment, right? During the season, and then the flash, be over them. Because I'm definitely over her. I'm totally good off of her. If I never saw her again, I would not be upset. Okay? If there were a next season, I'm going to say this, and she was involved, hopefully not, because again, don't want to see her. she probably would start off with Marge and them and then be right back on with Teresa once the season, or by the time the season was over. So to that I say, toodles, girl, don't need you. Meanwhile, the energy in the room with Teresa, Jackie, Jen, and Dolores was totally different. And y'all know it was. You can act like you want to deny it all you want to. You saw what you saw, and your eyes were not deceiving you. They acted more mature and like they had some sense. Okay? Jen gave the most in terms of reactions. Don't get me wrong. Jennifer Aiden, yes, she did. But even so, I mean, they were there, I guess, to react. But, and however, I still felt like it wasn't excessive like the other ladies. And again, Jen kept it centered from what I can remember and focused on the episode at hand, the task at hand that they were asking her to comment on. Like, these ladies were doing all this other sidebar stuff, and it's like doing the most. I found it annoying also that every time Marge's crew saw footage, when they didn't like something, you know, with Jen Aiden or with Teresa, oh, then they just had, again, so much to say, you know, like, oh, that's the worst thing you could say, or oh, they're losers and all this other stuff. But anytime one of them said something rude or offensive in the footage, they laughed or they defended it or they didn't say anything. And I'm like, okay, handled like true hypocrites. And speaking of hypocritical, Margaret thought it was so low, right, y'all? I know you was watching what I was watching. When Melissa actually called it one of the lowest things said to date in the Housewives of New Jersey history, where Louis said he hopes Marge's son suffered. And as I mentioned in my last review, no, I don't think that's something that he should have said. And even so, if he did say it, that's pillow talk between him and his wife or him and his own thoughts. But you had a camera right there, right? That goes deep no matter how hurt or upset you are. And I get Teresa's point that, you know, she felt like, well, listen, this lady hurt our kids too. But you still never want to wish these things on people. They will get their just desserts. You don't need to speak that for them, right? But yet and still, when they asked Danielle if she would have handled Jen Aiden, and I believe it was Jen Fessler actually that was talking to Danielle about this, if she would have handled the Jen Aiden situation differently at Rails, she says she regrets not putting her in the grave, for lack of better words. And y'all know what she said. She actually said it. And I'm like, okay, really? Yet none of them said how disgusting that was of her to say. But Louis just said the lowest thing when he said he hopes Marge's son suffers. But yet this one wants the other one like 20 feet under. Okay, got it. Danielle, you're busy calling somebody an effing loser, but why don't your own family deal with you? Huh? And why are you a 39-year-old woman who talks with her hands and can't articulate with her mouth? And Rachel got the nerve to say y'all had or hold yourselves to a higher standard. And you're right. You all think that you hold yourselves to a higher standard. And that's where the delusion comes into play. Like, because y'all are truly bugging. The way y'all were going so hard talking about those ladies and everything else, not just during the season, but just in this last sit down alone. I'm like, my God, can somebody get them some water to cool down and maybe get their gears spinning in another direction? Like, let's take a break. Let's take a break at this point because they're just going way too hard. So when Jen Fessler comes walking in the room, Margaret's greeting her with a kiss, right? Like she didn't talk about her the whole season or most of the season, excuse me. Y'all remember at the beginning of the season, Marge was talking so much stuff in her confessionals, treating this lady any old type of way. Again, her friend, right? Her friend. But you're going to kiss her like love is love. And hey, booby. And I wonder why. Clearly because, you know, Jen Fessler finally picked her side and came back to Marge's side of things, right? Which we knew was the whole issue all along during the season. Marge was just mad because Jen, you know, I don't even know, for lack of better words, if I should say she wasn't picking sides at that point or she was just being too friendly with the ops. but we know Marge felt the ways about it. But then again, I said, for those of y'all who are on the type of religious time that I'm on, you know, even Judas Iscariot betrayed Jesus with a kiss. So what makes us think that Margaret wouldn't do it? But you keep riding for your friend Jen, okay? You go right on ahead. Hope that works out for you. Margaret watching the playback of Dolores calling her an effing see you next Tuesday. Like I said it before, y'all, in my review, I'm going to say it again. That arsenal is locked and loaded against you, child. Dolores, you in trouble, girl. That's all I'm going to say. It's all in Marge's face, the way she, and then her face is scrunching up and stuff. I'm like, and you think you're going to get away with that, Dolores? You think that Marge is going to sleep tight and just let that, you know, burn in her arsenal? Child, okay. All right, we'll see. Dolores tells the room that no one in the other room really cared about the meeting Margaret had. Did y'all notice, though, how hard Melissa and Marge was like, they cared. They cared. Oh, they cared. They mentioned it like 4 times. They cared. They cared. I'm like, my God, y'all want them to care. Y'all are going to force the issue of them caring. I'm like, I don't think they did. Yeah, they might have mentioned it because there were points that needed to be made about that. You hosted a whole sushi dinner to take down Teresa and her husband. What, are they going to sit quietly on it? That is something to care about. But y'all wanted to be so relevant in that moment. I'm like, yo, pipe down. Okay? Like, who's fanning out here? Like, y'all are the true fans at the end of the day. Anyways, also, Marge was mad thirsty, wondering how Jackie was holding up in the other room. Who cares, Marge? Okay? Because let me tell you, she's certainly not asking about you. As a matter of fact, none of them were in there asking about you. But y'all sitting in there, having these ladies in your mouths per usual. And did she really fix those lips? Okay, now I'm not going to call them the type of lips that y'all be calling them, and y'all been calling them for seasons. I'm going to just keep it cute. And I'm going to say that she really fixed those lips to say that the ladies were obsessed with them. Listen, we don't even need to play back the season, right? When I tell you this one episode just gave all the points that we needed to see, like, this whole episode showed how much y'all were just kind of riding their coattails and how they absolutely were something for y'all to talk about and how they absolutely keep you guys afloat, because if it weren't for them, if this didn't show, I don't know what would. If it wasn't for them, y'all would be done. Y'all would have been done, as a matter of fact. Hopefully y'all are done after this season. Meanwhile, I'm still waiting for them to give the high school vibes, the high school girl vibes, I should say, that you guys are giving. Because they weren't. Like, Teresa and Jackie, truly, and Jen at certain points, but primarily Teresa and Jackie, they sat there not as bothered, y'all. Like, play it back. Rewind and play it back. Like, you will see, like, again, Marge and them just gave, like, just, again, mean girls. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever. And then Marge says she says they obsess over them day and night. And I said, no, Marge, you fantasize over them doing that. There's a difference. They're not paying you guys the mind that you think they are. And Marge, you can deny it 1,000 times and try to say, you know, or drag your crew to agree with you in terms of this whole sushi dinner not being a takedown, but it absolutely was. It absolutely was. But yet you call other people disgusting. It's how you play. It's how dirty you are. It's how dirty you've been. What's changed now? If anything, you've gotten worse. So let's not act like, you know, you were just so innocent in that whole situation. And Margaret asked how she would even get the video of Louis on the beach to put it out there. Easy, because you were in cahoots and in contact with his ex, and she could have simply just texted it to you or emailed it to you to hold in your arsenal like you most likely were doing, or anything else under the sun. Come on. And you're talking about if Teresa had half of a brain. No, ma'am. If you had half of a brain, then you would know there's a whole lot of intelligent people out here like myself who aren't buying your bull. And we know you are a certified liar. And that's it. I don't even need to say it a whole lot more times. This episode just kind of solidified that even more, and we still just hop, skip, and jumped right on past it because you wouldn't take any accountability for it. You wouldn't admit to it. None of that. Not even as so much to say, well, yeah, I mean, I did talk to the ex and maybe that wasn't right at the time, but Jackie so and so and so. Like, you didn't even do that much, Marge. Like, you're just a sad case. You really are. And I agree with Teresa that Marge was lying too about getting that info about Jackie a week before their real sit down. Girl, you been holding on to that. Like, stop playing in our faces. You could play with Danielle because she'll believe it. You could play with Rachel because she'll believe it. You could play with Melissa and Jen Fessler because they'll believe it. But us, no, ma'am. Don't bring that over here. Okay? We are not that retarded. We are not. Because at the end of the day, if Jackie says that even she was in contact with this lady years ago, and Marge had a conversation even with this lady years ago, because it's been years by now. You mean to tell me years ago this lady never disclosed that Jackie had met with her at Jackie's house? Lies. You mean to tell me that even months after you talked to the lady for the first time, let's just say, because it probably wasn't even months, you probably talked to her frequently. So of all those conversations, she's just telling you a week before Rails that Jackie met with her at Jackie's house? Marge. Come on now, Marge. Come on now, Marge. But again, I guess you know whose face is to play in, because you know who'll go right along with your stuff. Either whether it's because they don't have balls enough to stand up to you, or because they don't want their arsenal of information to come out, or whatever. But child, nobody has the time. You need somebody that's really going to call you out completely on your stuff, who somebody would take seriously. The unfortunate thing about Teresa is because of her history and because of what she's had going on, because so many people despise her, they don't want to take her at face value now, right? It's like, it's hard to believe that she's spitting real facts, and she actually is. You know, I guess again, most would consider her, the ones that don't like her, to be the boy who cried wolf, because it's like, oh, well, you know, you did so much stuff, so how dare you come and say this and that, and you did this too, and you did that. Yeah, but facts are facts, and at the end of the day, she still presented facts in this situation. Okay, like I said, if it were anybody else, they would have shut Marge all the way down. But whatever, everybody's day comes. We may not see it, but it'll come. Marge definitely is not getting away with this either. Okay? And I'm going to agree with Teresa also that all the girls were in on knowing that Marge had that information. They knew that Marge was going to do that. The way they were trying to play it off, hey, why didn't you tell me? We didn't know you had this. Lies. Y'all knew she had it. Y'all knew because if y'all had, again, a freaking sushi dinner review takedown the day before the reunion, she's been putting y'all on this stuff. So she ain't going to tell y'all about this? Girl, come on, y'all. So anyways, they talk about how the train has left the station because now they're pretty much done watching the episode. And I'm like, yes, left the station. And some of y'all definitely need to be on it. Okay? Y'all let me know who y'all think needs to be on that train booking up out of here. I don't know if there'll be a season 15. If there are, I really hope that they give us something fresh, something wonderful. If they do decide to keep a couple of the ones that we know, please let it be the right ones. Please, 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 please. Okay, but it can't be these same people. It just absolutely cannot. I think that Bravo has sense enough to know that, especially seeing what the fans have said, seeing how we feel, and just hopefully knowing based off their own common sense that this is a done deal. Like you said, this is laid to rest. There is no coming back, or either it's just going to be the same nonsense over and over again, and we just don't want to see that. So Marge says she has no regrets and didn't do anything wrong. She didn't do anything wrong, y'all. She didn't do anything wrong. And I know she meant this season, but still, this season she didn't do anything wrong. Get the hell out of here. Okay. Then she turns to her crew for validation, of course, of which they say nothing, with the exception of Danielle, who shakes her head no, and naturally she would. A hot, stinking mess. Okay. Rachel wishes that she would have exposed Louis more for who he was. But what about your husband and who he really is? Allegedly. Allegedly. Okay? Because apparently the streets been talking a whole lot about who your husband is and the things that y'all didn't address. Y'all kept it real cute, allegedly. And there was a whole lot more that should have been said while y'all over here talking about jailbirds and everything else and crimes committed, allegedly. Okay. But y'all think we just totally like missed that, right? Like we weren't paying attention. Yeah, y'all failed to mention that. But anyways, y'all, that's pretty much it. I think I'm just too through over it. You know, I'm sorry if I couldn't give the same energy because it was just exhaustion part two. Like I said, just to sit there and no accountability taken. You know, I don't get that. And I don't see how that's okay. I don't see how they walk away feeling like, you know, like they did a good thing. Like, and I'm thinking primarily of Marge for her to literally say out of her mouth that she did nothing wrong. You sat there, even if you want to feel like you didn't do anything wrong with Teresa, which I disagree with that. To your friend, to your good friends, you trashed them. You absolutely trashed them. Mad Day arrived and you sent them to the pits of hell. One was just silly enough to come skedaddling back to you, but the other knows what you are, and I hope she stays away from you to the end of time. But these other folks, they gonna learn. They gonna learn through you, Marge, and then they gonna be singing a sad song. Okay? They gonna be wishing that they would have taken heed and been paying attention to who you really are. But you'll show them again. I have faith in that. I really do. So as far as returning, you know, Melissa, no. Danielle, no. Rachel, no. Jen Fessler, no. No, 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 no. If I had my ultimate way, Marge would be a no. But again, like I said before, in all fairness for what it is, for the level of interest, and I guess for most entertainment that it would bring, fine, then keep Marge. Keep Marge. We ain't worried about Marge. We just got to sit through our lives and our arsenal, you know. But at least she gives something. These other people, what does, just tell me, y'all, even Melissa alone, what does Melissa give? Somebody in my comments who loves Melissa, and even if you don't love Melissa, I think it would be easier if you loved her. But even if you don't, if you could think of a bomb line that she has dropped this season or last season, we'll go back to even the season before that. Just give me one dope line that she's dropped that solidified her position on the show. And I'll be quiet. I'll be like, okay, you know what? Y'all are right. I will admit it. My bad. Y'all are totally right. I forgot about that. Name it. What our girl Sutton say in the Housewives of Beverly Hills, name them. Name them. Name them. Name them. Just give me one. That's all I ask. Because other than that, what are we looking at? What are we looking at here? How are we entertained? Like, I was just even watching her this sit down and just, she's so, I don't know, she just gives me juvenile energy and just, and I'm stuck, y'all, because I'm trying to keep it really polite. Like, it's not that I'm at a loss for words. I'm not. But I'm not even trying to go there and be super rude. I just find her uneventful. I just do. Of all the lines she gave, I mean, it's just like, girl, you have failed. You have failed the test. I mean, I'm just saying, for somebody who can't stand their sister-in-law, this was your opportunity this season to go in and go hard, and you did nothing. And all this time, you did nothing. You were supposed to be showing the other girls how it was done after being here for so long, and you did nothing. But I'm done, y'all. I'm done. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. We'll definitely see what happens with the show in the future. Like I said, I've always loved Jersey. It's my favorite franchise. It definitely shook me up this season and disappointed me with just all the mess and the vitriol and the hate that we saw, you know. And I'm hoping that if they do bring it back, that we can really get a good reset in some way, shape, or form. And again, for me, reset does not mean necessarily get rid of the whole entire cast, but some of them folks got to go. Okay, I don't know that I would necessarily want to see all new people, but we just need something. Whatever that's going to work at this point, we'll take it. Okay. In the meantime, y'all get on the dance floor. Don't be a prude. Let me know what you think, what you thought, what your projections for the future will be, who you want to see back, who you don't, what you thought about this, all of that good stuff in between, and maybe some of the bad stuff too. But please keep it respectful. Okay, because I know how to get rid of you. I got bodyguards at my party, even if it's just me. We will get you on up out of here. All right. In the meantime, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me and riding with me. This will not be the last of me. You will see me again in these YouTube streets. Okay, I'm still trying to figure out at what capacity. I think I know, but you'll just have to wait and see. But I appreciate you guys. In the meantime, I wish you well. I hope you stay up, stay blessed. And until we see each other again, y'all, I am out.